Hi, this is Miss Smith. I get the pleasure of reading the wonderful ending to our story, Sideways Stories from Wayside School. I can't wait. Chapter 30. Lewis. Lewis had a red face and a mustache of many colors. He was the yard teacher at Wayside School. It was his job to see that the children did not have fun at recess or lunch. And if you haven't already guessed, he's the one who wrote this book. On June 10th, there was a blizzard. Lewis was afraid the children would have too much fun, so nobody was allowed to go outside. Class, said Miss Jules, after you finish your lunch today, come back into the classroom. You are not allowed outside. The children all went to the lunchroom. Miss Mush had prepared a tuna surprise. They looked at it, they buried their heads and ran back up the stairs. There's nothing to do. Now, class, said Miss Jules, I know you are all bored, but I have a special surprise for you. I hope it's a better surprise than that tuna surprise, said Marisha. Miss Jules continued, Lewis is going to come up and entertain us. He's going to tell us a story. Now I want you all to be on your best behavior. When Lewis walked in, all the children bowed. Are you going to tell us a story, said Bebe. Why, yes, said Lewis. Well, it better be good, said Bebe. And it better be better than that tuna surprise, said Butterfingers. I thought the tuna surprise was good, said Lewis. Well, you would eat dirt if they put ketchup on it, said Mac. Hey, everybody, be quiet, said Todd. Let him tell his story. But not too loud, said Cherie. I'm going to try to get a nap. Lewis sat in the middle of the room, and all the children gathered around. Lewis began his story. This is a story about a school, very much like this one. But before you get started, there's something you ought to know. If you didn't get, so you won't get confused. In this school story, every classroom is the same, and it's all the same story. Which one? On the 18th floor? No, said Lewis. They're all on the ground floor. The school is only 1 story high. That's not much of a school, said Damien. Lewis continued. Now, you might think the children there are strange and silly. This is probably true. However, when I tell you their stories about you, you might think they're strange and silly too. Ah, said the children. How are we strange? I am normal, said Stephen. Aren't I? As normal as I can be, as normal as you can be, Joe said. The children at the school must be crazy, said Leslie. Real nuisances, Marisha said. Tell us about them, Lewis, Dee Dee demanded. Well, for one thing, Lewis said, none of these children have ever turned into an apple. What? That's silly, said Dee Dee. Everybody's been turned into an apple. It's all part of growing up. Lewis continued. Dead rats don't walk into the classrooms wearing raincoats. What do they wear? Tuxedos, said Todd. And the girls never try to sell their toes, Lewis said. Well, no wonder, said Leslie. At today's prices, that would be expensive. Lewis continued. They don't make names, and they don't trade their names, or they don't read upside down. They don't even turn mosquito bites into numbers. They don't even count all the hairs on their heads. And the walls don't laugh. And 2 plus 2 does not always equal 4 there. How horrible, said Damien. That's not the worst of it, said Lewis. They have never tasted Marisha's flavored ice cream. A hush fell over the room. Miss Jules, I'm scared, said Alice. Is there really a school like that? Of course not, said Miss Jules. Lewis is just telling us a story. Well, it's a good story, said Leslie. I thought it was stupid, said Kathy. But I liked it, said Rondi. It was kind of funny. Miss Jules said, Lewis is very entertaining, and it's a very entertaining story. But we really don't have time for all these fairy tales here. I'm trying to teach the class math. That's all right, said Lewis. I have to go down to room 29 now and tell them a story. He stared at the door. Class, said Miss Jules, let's all thank Lewis for his wonderful story. Everybody bowed. The end.